So I'm really offended by this. And even though you guys know me on YouTube as someone who's upbeat and positive, I might be quite harsh in this video. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello world, this is Dean from Japan! How are you doing today? Apparently, some people are upset that the former punk girl turned pop singer Gwen Stefani said that she's Japanese. I actually love Gwen Stefani because I had no idea how to spell that word banana until she released that annoyingly catchy song. So thank you, Gwen. But let's look at the story.
There's a cloud of controversy surrounding singer Gwen Stefani. In an interview with Allure magazine, she claimed twice that she is Japanese.
Oh my god, how offensive is that? Ugh.
Technically, Stefani is Italian-American with no confirmed connection to Japan apart from she loves the culture. She has long been accused, though, of appropriating other cultures in her music and fashion. What exactly did she say in this bombshell interview?
That her father worked for Yamaha. He traveled back and forth from Japan to America with these stories that she's found so interesting of Japan. And when she went to Japan as an adult, she said, "Oh my gosh, this is my culture. I'm Japanese." She feels she's Japanese because she's so in love with the culture of Japan. But she made these remarks to an Asian American interviewer who said, you know, how lucky some white women can be to identify as Japanese but not have the experience of Asian Americans and having to worry about, you know, the model minority myth or worry about being attacked in the streets for being Asian. So
who the hell cares? In this day and age, so many people can claim to be American or Canadian. If I claim to be Canadian, no one's gonna challenge me. And Japanese is a nationality and not necessarily ethnicity per se. Technically speaking, a white person can be Japanese. If Gwen Stefani, on the other hand, had said that she's an ethnic Yamato Japanese, so the native Japanese people, I'll be asking if George Santos is managing her PR team. So the journalist that interviewed Gwen Stefani is a Filipina American, and she's claiming to be an American, even though she didn't understand that in that statement in English, Gwen just meant that she appreciated the Japanese culture. It's really obvious what she meant to most people, and as a Japanese person, I would like to say thank you for appreciating our culture. The journalist is not even Japanese American. Why does it matter what she thinks?
And also, she's had past allegations of cultural appropriation. So she was criticized for wearing a bindi, which is part of Hindu culture in the 90s. She wore bantu knots in her hair, which is a part of Zulu, the Zulu people culture in South Africa. Then, you know, she had the Harajuku girls phase.
So this is something I said during the "Are White People Idolized in Asia" video, but white Western culture is universal at the moment because it seems more accessible and welcoming. If I did a video while wearing a kilt, no one would care. People might wonder why the hell I'm suddenly wearing a kilt, and they might hope that I won't be recreating that scene from that film Basic Instinct. But no one's gonna accuse me of cultural appropriation. So why is it different when people try to wear non-Western outfits? Stop trying to stop Asian culture from being promoted overseas. Not a single person from those countries are complaining about it. I love my culture and I want people to enjoy it.
Which is when she had 4 Japanese women who followed her around, and people like Margaret Cho criticized her, saying, you know, you're sort of using these girls as accessories. You are sort of reinforcing these stereotypes about Asian women.
In Japan in the early 2000s, we had the Japanese singer Tommy February, and I think her gimmick was romanticized Americana as seen from the Japanese lens. And she had black, white, and Asian cheerleaders cheering for her. I think the issue with Gwen Stefani is that her backup dancers didn't speak at all. They just followed her around silently, like the demure Asian women stereotypes.
Super kawaii.
So it just seemed like she was a master having Asian servants around. It's kind of hard because I understand that the spotlight should be on Gwen Stefani only, and a gimmick like that wouldn't fly now. But when you're looking at things in the past, you have to see it within the given context. to most people in the West, Gwen's Harajuku girls dancers were their first introduction to the Japanese and Asian culture. It's really easy to criticize her now, but how many of these woke people criticizing Gwen right now were buying CDs of Asian artists trying to break out in the West?
Interesting though, because she's also an artist, and at what point are you allowed to celebrate through your art other culture? Have we heard anything from Gwen Stefani on her reps?
We haven't heard anything. I reached out for comment, and we're hoping to hear back and get a little more clarification on what she's thinking about this.
We don't care. No one sane is offended. So this is the thing about cultural appropriation that we all need to be aware. Most people who cry cultural appropriation over trivial things like this don't actually believe in what they're saying. Sure, there might be a few crazy ones out there who truly believe that it's offensive, but to most of these people, it's just a way to make other people feel uncomfortable, to get more power. By dictating what is appropriate and what isn't, they can now make people come to them for permission. Permission on what to speak, on how to act, thereby getting more power. It's a way for people to dictate and command. You don't get to speak unless you do this, unless you follow our rules. It's a really lazy way of asserting yourself and asserting your authority without having done anything. No one should be listening to a journalist so lazy that she has to create offense from thin air to become relevant. I thought that song Wind Up by Gwen Stefani was annoying as hell. But I would rather listen to Rachel Dolezal of Harajuku instead at any given time.